definitely add Team USA to the list of nations to kind of watch out for.
Right, well, here we go. Alex Megos will be out first, but before he does, let's take a look at this route. And we said it wound around, and it really does, especially at the top. Again, same height, same overhang on it. But the distance, of course, it's not just 15 meters.
I was going to say probably longer than, well, definitely longer than 15 meters of climbing, and probably quite a few more meters than the women's route.
Yeah, look at that. Look at that wiggly line. All over the place. So, starts on the yellow, moves into the purple, then the blue and yellow section. And things get pretty thuggy. No feet, you will notice, down the bottom. And then the risky section.
Oh, we love a risky section.
As if the bottom wasn't risky as well.
Yeah, no feet sounds pretty risky to me.
It does, doesn't it? Well, that's what they have in front of them.
So that they can remember, because if you think, these guys went into isolation 5, 6 o'clock today, and it's been a long time. And it's easy, well, look how many moves are on this route as well. I'd be impressed if they remembered every single one. So, but Alex is a very keen outdoor climber, so he's probably used to remembering routes. Maybe that will work in his favor.
Well, we'll see. Alex is going to have to improvise at certain parts on this, and it's not obvious.
No, and I bet he won't know what's going on at the top from the ground. It's really hard to see up there. Some people use binoculars. I don't think Alex is someone who does, but he's also a very good on-site climber on rock, and that's probably, I think he trains on rock quite a lot for comps, and so maybe he'll be okay.
So Alex comes up to the black screw-ons. This is probably really one of the only chances to shake out a little bit on this route, but we'll see. The athletes are good at finding places, but the route set specifically took out rests on this. They really tried to eliminate them.
The guys are just too fit.
Yeah, too fit, too flexy.
Really good tension there from Alex. A move to a slot is always risky. I mean, I didn't think we'd see the risky section till the top, but that looked pretty risky to me.
It did, didn't it? And you can see the route setters have put massive volumes on, and that just makes it everything more 3D.
Definitely. Makes it a lot more complicated, a lot more tension through the body. They've basically made the steep wall even steeper.
So Alex has a little rest here, shakes out.
Looking very happy on a crimp.
Yeah, it's horrible, that right hand.
He has probably got the strongest fingers in the world, maybe.
Iron crosses it out, shoulder move through.
Here's that no-foot section that the crowd is absolutely loving.
Cruising is Alex off the pockets. That's a Franken-Euro special,
I was just about to say, looking very comfortable. He's done a lot of that.
Slaps the volume, which is it's dual text, it's slippy. And then gets the quick draw in.
And I was just about to say, it doesn't look like you can stop in this section, but he seems to have found a good toe hook.
Yeah, the route setters, he tried to eliminate those rests, would be annoyed by that. Gets the left toe in. Body tension to hold him in position, bumps that right hand. Got to be careful. And you've got to be precise on here because the screw-on's the only bit of friction.
Yeah, it's slippy underneath it, and it's easy to slip off these footholds. Looking quite spanned.
He is, isn't he? And you'll notice the feet are running out here as well as he goes to the right. So it's another campus part. And make a big move to the pocket. And then this is where the feet start to go. There it is. Alex comes down. They have done. I know Team Japan used that FISU Games, a bit of opportunity, some of them, to show what they're made of, because it's hard to get into the Japanese team.
Definitely. We always joke that Japanese B team is like still world class.
Yeah, absolutely. So Satone starts his way up. Quite a flowy style of climbing from him.
Yeah, always amazing to watch the Japanese climbers. They have such a cool style. You can tell that they all climb together.
Yeah, you can, and read the routes together as well.
Yeah, for sure. It's a very precise, but quite quick style, flowy.
Yeah, I always think the Japanese climb like how I would in my dreams.
Yeah.
It's like, I want to be able to do that.
I know.
Right, so he comes up with the left, holds it, and then gets the heels hooked in, and he'll take a sec to shake out and rest it.
Looking very relaxed.
There is Alex Megos' high point, 28 plus for him.
There's still quite a way to go. There's a lot of climbing in those 17 moves.
Yeah, and I underestimated how difficult it was through the big volumes.
And I wonder if we'll be able to keep his foot on. Yeah.
What a shot that is with the mountains in the background. Right, this is where Alex took a long time to rest. And that right-hand crimp is just, I mean, that's what they're resting on. And he doesn't rest for that long. Sensible man. Oh, come on, that's cool.
Bit of showboating. Looking a bit more comfortable than Alex on there, I must say.
He is, isn't he? He's enjoying this. So one-arm lock-off as he swung across.
He went a bit more dynamically to that volume, which I think made the move a bit easier than Alex. A lot of the time you can kind of not... If you don't commit fully, the move's a lot harder, basically.
And I was wondering what those little patches are on his arm. Apparently it's a metal on them, which is meant to improve. Yeah. So I can't remember if it's titanium. It's some kind of metal that's meant to help your muscles in some way.
I see. I might need to go and get me some of those.
Yes, people have been telling me it might be a bit of more of a psychological thing than a physical thing, possibly.
I mean, if it works, it works.
Exactly. There's a few of them doing it. Yannick Flohé has it as well.
Taking an opportunity to rest like we saw Alex do. It looks like it's pretty on you from now.
Yeah, it is, and complicated. There's a few holds on the top section that you'll see in a sec that I have no idea why the athlete would use them.
I'm seeing some dual texture.
Yeah, that's what we're looking at there, those dots. Well, he's got to get there first, so he crosses through to the pockets.
And here we go, about to see where we lost Alex. I wonder what method he'll go for. Wow.
Power, I would imagine.
Okay.
Oh, static up to it.
Very nice.
Well, I don't think it is a 1-2. I think it was just the way Alex wanted to do it.
Yeah. A bit more commitment out of the shoulder. And it looked quite realistic.
It did, didn't it? So he goes past Alex's high point. Crosses under that left foot on the stiffy part of the dual text.
Still looking really relaxed. Not really seen any elbows or...
No, and is he going to bump here? Oh, crosses through. And this hold out far left, that's the one I couldn't work out how he uses it, but it's going to be a foot, I think. Or a toe, there we go.
Toe hook. I was going to say, a very shiny foot. Oh!
That's a long stretch.
It is a very long way. Earlier and train up for next year. Next year's a big year.
How many are you doing this year, though? Will you be at Villars next week?
Yes, I'll be doing the full summer lead season, which I'm very excited about. It's been a while since we've had a full one.
Yeah, true. Well, Taisei Homma is off and climbing. And we know that it's pretty straightforward through this part.
Definitely looks a lot more steady at the bottom than the women's room.
There's a little kick cut loose here, but it's... Oh, he does it statically up there. No need to jump. Holding that sloper like it's nothing.
Yeah, not even using the jib on it.
Jib was a word that I learned last year doing this, but it's basically a small screw-on hold.
Yeah, like
it?
an addition to a hold. Something that the route setters will, a screw-on they'll add on to a bigger hold.
Now this is where we get that spectacular move we saw Satone do, the lock-off. Alex did it a bit differently.
Looking pretty steady. Route setters just blocking holds to make it a little bit more uncomfortable. Means you've got to be focused, you can't be lazy and just slap your feet on anywhere.
How do you train for that? Because, I mean, it's not something you see in commercial gyms that much, blocked holds.
No, it really tests your accuracy, so maybe some campusing.
And look at that campus move from him as he does.
Yeah, he's definitely done his campus homework.
It's a little less dramatic than Satone. Oh!
Just wants hard routes as well. Wants to be tested, especially physically. He's incredibly strong, as we said. And he'll be psyched about this one, I think.
Right, let's see what Yannick Flohé can do. Up he goes to the half moon dishes. High heels. Cruising at the moment. Clock down the bottom right. I want to keep an eye on that just because for a couple of these athletes, time will be a factor. Last two, Jesse, Howe, can come out. If they both top, it will go down to time, but it's not as important as the women. There are less tops.
Yeah.
Or there were less tops in the semi-final, I should say.
Yeah, these guys will know that the brute setters would have made it a lot harder, and I think they'll be just trying to get to the top.
Yeah, we didn't see a top in the men's semi-final at all. Came close. Looks like he's skipped a draw there. It's not. It's just the angle. That right-hand quick draw is further over.
Climbing pretty decisively. Oh. This is Yannick's style. I wonder if we'll get a bit of showboating as well.
I hope we do. I really do. And I hope someone gives him a plus for it. Just an extra plus.
Style points.
Exactly. I honestly think it should be a thing.
Me too.
Right, so he launches out. Oh, he's going to try to do it differently. Oh, that was not the way to do it.
No. But now he should be in his happy place.
Yeah,
looking very strong. And let's see how he approaches this move. Nice.
Yeah, way more solid. Got right to the back of it, whereas Taisei was low.
Yeah, you can see there's a bit of a lip on that volume, so it's quite hard to judge how deep to go on them.
So Yannick chalks up. And that texture, I remember it's slippy, so you can't stand on all of it. Resting. There's a lot of debate. Someone was pointing out to me that I always call a dual text hold dual text, but it's not, because that's the dual text is the whole thing, not just the slippy bit. So I've decided on no text is going to be my word. Yeah.
No text.
No text. So the beat drops as Yannick gets a bit tense as he starts into this campusy part of the route.
Opting to clip low, but looks chill still.
It does look chill, doesn't it? Doesn't look pumped at all.
And I'm sure he'll like this shoulder section as well. Another opportunity to flex his strength.
Here we go.
Oh. Nice.
Oh, that move for a lot of other people would have sent them off. He didn't quite have it properly, but he just locked the shoulder.
He's just so strong. Even though he wasn't fully set on that blue hold, he could still just
but then, I was about to say, because he hadn't clipped that draw, even looked at clipping it. So Jakob looks upwards, takes his time. And the DJ as well senses it. The lighting dude, he pressed the button and the wall is lit up now. So
they know how to amp up the atmosphere when the Austrians are on the wall.
They do. So what kind of a form is Jakob Schubert in? Remember, he won it last year.
He looked incredibly fit in qualification.
Yep. Solid climbing from him.
I'm sure he's been waiting for lead season as well. He's got so much. I mean, he was never a bad boulderer, was he? But as the style changed, became more new school, climbers like Jakob and Adam Undra and Alex all had to adapt a lot. And he got pretty good at it as well.
Yeah, he did. I mean, as well, his outdoor bouldering form is ridiculous.
Oh, it's like, Jakob flashed another 8B plus or something, you know?
That Magic Wood video, go and watch that if you haven't seen it. So good. So, out he comes to the purple volumes.
Looking pretty determined.
Yeah, and then he's going to have to cross through to the right, hangs off.
Someone that always looks very tense, I'd say, when he climbs. He's not the most relaxed, flowy climber.
Yeah, he grinds it out.
It's always a battle with Jakob. Yeah. And a lot of the time he looks like he's off and he's still on to the top of the wall.
Well, that face we just saw, it looked like he was desperate there, but I don't think he is.
I think it's a bit of an old school style, maybe?
Yeah. No, you're right. There's that. He lacks the flow, but what he lacks in flow, he has in just determination, power, grit. Up to the pinches, up to the one pinch. High foot, but he's got to be careful with this move. Nails it.
Very experienced comp climber.
Yeah, he must know every hold there is, surely, by now.
Especially training in Innsbruck.
Yeah. I want to say he's 30 still. He certainly was. I'll check his age.
Yeah, probably the oldest in this final.
31 now, is Jakob Schubert.
31. And probably one of the oldest in the whole competition.
Yes, it must be. So he matches and rests in the same position as everyone has, with that heel on the left.
Moving quite quickly, I'd say, as well. Not hanging about.
No, he's not. The crowd are all clapping. Synchronized clapping down there. Driving him on.
Loads of phones out.
Yeah. And he's nearing Alex's third position. He has done, yeah. So this will be interesting.
very familiar, this wall for Jakob. He climbs on this so many times a week.
So here we go. This is where things start to get really hard for them. No one's broken into the head wall yet. Big move to the pocket. Needs to get his foot sorted. Get this left hand in. He does so well.
Looks pretty tight still. Wow. It's pretty much statics, that move. And now, okay, he's looking pretty relaxed.
Yeah, he is now. Oh, that breathing face, though. This is where Yannick fell. Couldn't get that clip in. Moves to second.
The Austrian crowd cheering him up.
32, his score. Yoshida went out to the toe hooks before he fell.
Starting to get a bit slappier now.
Yeah, you can see snatching at that chalk. The burn starting to kick in, and yeah, he is struggling. Can't make the cross through on the first time of asking, but changes his foot placement. That's smart.
That's a really good heel.
Oh, hello. He's
fighting.
But he's nearing the first point of the crowd. Know it.
Wow.
And let's look at the leaderboard. Jakob Schubert is in the lead, so that he was faster, 36 plus. And then Satone Yoshida in 36 plus as well, but slower. Yannick Flohé in third, Alex Megos fourth, Taisei Homma fifth.
Young, next four.
Yeah, he'll be looking to prove something here. He's very strong. He's only, he's 20, 4 gold medals, but not in the senior circuits. His last medal was at the European Continental Cup, where he was third. Silver medal in Moscow during the World Champs, so.
Yeah, really impressive climbing from Luka back then.
He's a big man as well. Sometimes we see climbers slightly smaller size. Luka is a big dude.
Big guy. Usually people look so much bigger on the stream.
Yeah.
And then you see them in real life, like Alexandra Tokova, tiny.
Tiny, yeah. Yeah, you're very right.
Luka making light work of this beginning section.
And conditions here are pretty good for summer now, I reckon. The sun is setting.
And it's been a while since the wall was in the sun now, so the holds will hopefully have cooled down.
Athletes, the best chance they can to top out, but no one has yet. Jakob Schubert and Yoshida came closest. Gets the toe hook in, crosses through to the crimp.
Yeah, pretty standard climbing in this first section on the men's route, not what we saw on the women's route.
A real surprise. Crosses through, swinging out with the legs as he comes to the pocket.
Opts for a heel.
Ooh, this could be risky. It is blocked, and he changes his mind.
Well, I think that looked a bit harder than just canvassing.
Yeah, it did, didn't it? Yeah, the heel, when you've got a blocker hold like that heel is hard to get in and rock up on.
And it's always quite awkward when you have a volume that sticks out so far from the wall. You get a bit lost with a foot underneath it. But he's made that move up to the squadra volume pretty easily.
Yeah, gets the draw in. Fast climbing from him. So maybe time is in his head.
Maybe.
And it should be. I mean, Jakob and Satone Yoshida, they are separated on time.
Doesn't
oh, no, it would be
count
back, not time for them, I think. So they didn't get the same
all
score.
top in
There
the
we go. See, we've got
round.
so used to the women's that...
I know.
yeah, so theirs will be count back. It's only out Yurikusa and Jessie Gruppe.
Where time will be a factor.
Where time will be a factor, yeah.
Luka climbing really quickly.
So reaches up and locks
Wow,
that
almost
crimp in.
shook out in the middle of that move.
Yeah, sorry about that. That was my mistake with the time. So yeah, it's not time until the last couple. So anyway, he chalks up, leans backwards with the arms straight.
Had a bit of a rest there.
He did. Look how strong he's looking at the moment. No hesitation.
Clearly has a lot of endurance. Well, that move looks tricky, and let's see if he can find the heel that Jakob used. Or if he even needs it.
Yeah. Jakob was squatting down on that heel at this point, and this does look a bit more awkward, though.
Takes a costly cut.
Gets the toe in.
Head is going back now. He is fighting.
Really is. That's where Jakob got to, but he gets it, so he'll get a plus if he can use it. Oof.
Yeah, very strong. One of the climbers from ABC with Brooke and Natalia, coached by Robin, who, well, needs no introduction, really.
It's a really nice feeling within the American team. They're all, they obviously travel together, but it just feels like a big family.
They feel like a family, definitely. I think ABC really cares about that as well. And it clearly works.
Oh, interesting. So adjust the foot. Doesn't stop for very long, this Colin Duffy, straight through. And he's someone who's heavily been involved in the bouldering scene, so endurance could be a factor.
Yeah, I think on Instagram he said, like, basically enough of this bouldering stuff. It's time for lead season.
Oh, okay, so he's up for it.
So maybe he's been training away during all these boulder competitions, but maybe he's actually more of a lead climber.
Yeah.
I don't really know too much about him.
So off he goes through this route. Yeah, he's obviously bouldered a lot. His last league comp was Villars last year, and he was third, so...
Okay, so he's not too bad then,
Not too bad, yeah.
Fairly handy.
Yeah, he's all right.
Opts to try and static this move as well. A lot of tension in the feet.
Yeah, by doing it like that, you have your feet so high up, you have a bigger swing through. Now we know this is quite far, and he's going to have to bump for it, which he does.
Makes it work.
It's a little micro adjustment to make sure he got the good part of that hold.
I wonder how his skin's doing.
I know, I can't understand how they're still going. So Colin rests in that familiar position with the left heel and the low right foot, and then just the foot, squatting down.
Releases that heel.
The men's routes, the bolts aren't blocked for them, and apparently it was just less of a concern for their route. But I'm never sure about that one. I want the blockers in.
Yeah, we don't need any of that drama.
Yeah.
Okay, still chilling through this section.
Right, this is the sequence I thought he might like. Shouldery moves. Ah, there we go. There's a shoulder move.
Just a display of strength. Okay, it looks like a different route now.
It does, doesn't it? It looks so easy. It's like a 6-8. So he holds on. Matches, not matches, it's 2 holds, but gets them.
Definitely want the higher one with your left hand. It looks like a very awkward hand shuffle, that bit.
It does.
And that's where we lost Yannick earlier.
So Colin shakes out. Waits till he's ready. Tricky to time this because you don't want to hold on too long. You are getting more and more pumped as you're resting sometimes.
You've got to decide whether you're actually getting more recovered or whether you're just fatiguing yourself, really. But sometimes it's quite scary to move from the rest position because you know the hard section's coming up.
Yeah. And you're never going to get it back 100%.
No.
So he's nearing...
Crosses with ease.
Yeah, he does. He's looking good.
Will he go for the toe?
Gets double toe and then turns into a heel.
Oh. And he's chilling.
But
okay.
I was about to say that's a big move, but
okay.
not. So he's up into the first position easily.
And I had no idea where you were supposed to hold that hold on that bit, but now we know.
So crimps now. Almost lost a foot. Crosses. Oh.
It was just huge.
Yeah, and you have to go quite a long way to his last lead performance. 2019 in Japan, he was 5th. And that same year, he was 7th as well. So he's got that. But then Corona, and I know he wasn't part of the team for a couple of years.
Yeah, it's really interesting how the American team system works.
He moved to Salt Lake City just 6 weeks ago in order to join their training camps.
Another climber that looks like he's just having the best time of his life on the wall. We've gone from very serious Colin to a very smiley Jesse.
Tall climber as well.
Very tall. And I think an endurance climber, so maybe he'll like this route. It looks like it's the pump that's getting people. Not necessarily a tricky move because we've seen, you know, progressive scoring, so it's kind of a resistance route, I guess.
Yeah, you're right. There's no real sequence that's a stopper move. And he's better lead climber than he is a boulderer. I mean, he was 99th in Myringene at the beginning of the season. Salt Lake, he started to get better, but then dropped down for Brixton, where he was 61st. So definitely more of a lead specialist.
Maybe someone aiming for Paris and using this year as like a prep and experience year for the Boulder World Cups. It is hard. I think the boulderers have a better time of transitioning, especially when the routes are kind of hard off the ground. And I know that lead climbers struggle with the like parkour style from the bouldering. It's just so different to what's on the lead wall.
Yeah, for sure. But we might see the boulders getting longer in the combined because there's 2 zones that's going to be in the new scoring system.
Interesting.
So I think it might even itself out at some point, but we'll see. That system will only be for the combined comps, and then it's being tested for the potential scoring system for the Olympics.
You can see that length from Jesse there.
So much more body to pull up through that move. And he's going for the heel, which is very risky because that block, you can see immediately it goes.
And only just catches that volume. That length coming in handy there.
Yeah, for sure. He had his feet very low. So, but he will, if he gets up a little higher, have a chance to rest with the heel. There it is.
Opts for a heel. I think a toe would have been a little bit baggy for him as a taller climber. Looks down to check the time.
Matches the yellow now, staring upwards, and it does look like he's pumped at this point.
He does, but he is resting now. I wonder how much he'll get back off of this.
So he's silhouetted in the spotlight. You can tell how much the light has changed over this finals.
Definitely a bit more atmospheric now.
So he's resting in a different position as well. Gets that left hand really high, stretched out, using that length to his advantage. Now comes to the underclings.
And here we go.
Yeah, this is it. How strong is his shoulders?
Wow.
So up to the crimp, makes the clip.
Oh, I wonder if he'll be able to keep his feet on for this next section.
Pumps up to the first shoulder move. Here we go. This is the big one. Oh, a heel. Okay, well, that's how he uses the length. And then swings back.
Nice. Good tension from Jesse there.
Snatching at that, though.
Definitely got a bit of an elbow out, though, so I think he's pumped.
He is, and he's not in the top 3 yet. Needs to do more work to get to a medal position. Makes a very low clip so he can just focus on his next bit of climbing.
A little bit of shaking out. I think we can see where his endurance training is coming in and out.
But the thing is, this is what happened in the semi-final. I kept sort of like looking more at you climbing because it looked like he was about to fall off. And every time I looked back, he was still on the wall.
And he's still in there. We get the toe in.
What a grinder. Come on. So, right foot up.
And
Turns into a
changes to a heel. And he's still on the wall.
He's just got this engine in him that keeps going. He's in second. So he is guaranteed now silver or bronze. The lead. He's qualified in first position here. But his last lead comp was back in 2021 in Crand, where he was 8th.
Okay, another finals.
And as you said before, it's hard to keep track of which Japanese athlete is currently peaking because at different intervals, they all do well.
I know.
So he's underway. Gets a high pinch in, easy through this first part. You just need to make sure you don't overgrip, don't get pumped down low.
It's pretty interesting that the Japanese have got an actual lead team this year by the looks of things. I'm so used to seeing Yoshiyuki, well, I guess Yoshiyuki competed, but Tomoa and the other strong boulderers also competing in lead and being amazing, of course. But yeah, it's cool to see some new Japanese faces as well.
So up he goes. Needs just to keep it together. Watch the pump. Pump management. Definitely a thing.
Climbing with that classic Japanese style, very floaty.
Yeah, if you go and watch old videos of Akio Noguchi climbing for that flowy style, amazing to watch her. retired now, and I miss her on the scene.
I miss her too.
So cuts loose, swings, kicks the heels back, and back on with the right foot, cuts loose again.
Crazy core tension there. His foot just stuck.
Yeah, glued in. Focused on the next moves. Big one coming up though.
Yeah,
no issues.
He gave it enough.
So he's aiming for Colin Duffy's 38 plus. So Colin's currently in the lead. That's the top three. 37 needed to get the bronze.
He's got a bit of an awkward rope situation there.
Yeah, it's caught under his foot. Now it's released, and the B-layer will desperately
is
take it in.
Yeah. And the music is amped up.
It has. I like the DJ's been on form this week. He's very good. So clips in. These are the moves. The first really hard sequence. Cutting loose. So different from Jess's method where he had the heel in.
Comes out a bit.
Oh.
Quite outrageous cuts, those.
Oh, yeah. So clips it in, locks it off.
Doesn't really hang around there that much.
He's got to get this clip though. So he's gonna, interesting, so he's gonna get this and then reach back for the clip, which he does.
Looking very chill.
He is, isn't it? So he's making certainly a play towards that podium place. The top six grouped together, as you can see on that graphic on the left.
Still a long way to go for a medal.
Yeah, and he's having to fight here now, so bumps up with the left.
Makes the move with the toe, and...
No medal for him. Oh, no, it is... No, yeah, it is third position. So that's our leaderboard. Colin Duffy takes the win with 38 plus. Out Yurikusa, second, brilliant from him. And third, Jesse Gruppe. Those two separated by time because of the two groups in qualifying. Can't count back for that.